It was a cold November evening when the rain began to fall harder than usual. The rhythmic patter against the window echoed through the small house on the corner of Oak Ridge Lane. Inside, soft lamplight bathed the living room in a gentle glow, illuminating the framed photos that lined the walls, photos of me, Emily Carter, and the little boy who had changed my world forever, Jacob. Jacob had been with me for almost 3 years. I still remembered the day I met him like it was yesterday, a quiet, brown-haired boy sitting alone at the adoption center, holding a tattered stuffed bear and refusing to meet anyone's eyes. The caseworker told me he didn't talk much. His parents had passed away in a car accident, and he'd been in foster care ever since. Something inside me broke when I heard that. I'd always wanted to be a mother, but life had other plans. I never married. I poured my heart into my work as a school counselor, helping children find their voices. But when I saw Jacob, something deeper called to me. I knew he was meant to be in my life. At first, things weren't easy. Jacob barely spoke, often hid behind doors, and flinched at sudden noises. Nights were hardest. He'd wake up crying, calling out for his mom. I'd sit beside his bed, holding his hand, whispering that he was safe now. Slowly, day by day, he began to trust me. And somewhere along the way, I realized that he wasn't the only one healing, I was too. Tonight was supposed to be ordinary. I had made spaghetti for dinner, Jacob's favorite. But as I set the plates down, I noticed something different about him. He seemed distant, quieter than usual. His fork pushed noodles around his plate, untouched. "Everything okay, sweetheart?" I asked softly, leaning forward. He shrugged. "Just tired." His voice was small. My counselor instincts told me something was wrong, but I didn't want to push him, not yet. Instead, I smiled and said, "You know, spaghetti tastes better when it's actually eaten." That earned me a tiny smirk. I let it go, for now. After dinner, he went to his room while I cleaned up. The wind outside howled, rattling the windows. The lights flickered once, twice, then went out. Darkness swallowed the house, followed by a surprised yelp from down the hall. "Mom!" Jacob's voice broke through the dark. I grabbed a flashlight and rushed toward him. "I'm here, honey," I called. When I found him, he was standing in his doorway, clutching his teddy bear, eyes wide. "It's okay," I whispered, kneeling beside him. "It's just the power. Come on, we'll light some candles." We moved to the living room, the beam from the flashlight bouncing across the walls. The rain outside was relentless now. I found a few candles in the kitchen drawer, lighting them one by one until a soft amber glow filled the room. Jacob sat on the couch, knees drawn to his chest, his bear tucked under his chin. We sat together for a while, the silence filled only by the sound of rain and thunder. Then, without looking up, Jacob whispered, "Mom, do you ever miss someone you never really got to say goodbye to?" The question hit me like a wave. "Yes," I said quietly. "I do." He nodded slowly. "I had a dream about them again. My real mom and dad. They were calling me, but I couldn't find them. And when I woke up, I felt bad for being here." Tears welled in my eyes. I reached out, brushing a strand of hair from his forehead. "Jacob, you don't ever have to feel bad for being here. They loved you so much, and I know if they could see you now, they'd be proud of you. You still carry them with you, always. But it's okay to let someone else love you too." His lip trembled. He turned to me then, eyes full of tears. "Do you think they'd be okay with me calling you mom for real?" My heart stopped. My throat tightened so hard I could barely speak. "Jacob," I whispered, tears slipping down my cheeks, "I would be the luckiest person in the world if you did." He leaned forward and wrapped his small arms around me. I held him tight, feeling his heartbeat against mine, the years of pain and fear melting away in that one perfect moment. Outside, thunder rolled again, but inside, the world felt safe and still. That night, something changed. He called me Mom, for the first time, and I realized my life would never be the same. The power came back hours later, but we didn't notice. We'd fallen asleep on the couch, his head resting on my shoulder. The next morning, sunlight streamed through the windows, warm and golden. I woke up first and just watched him sleep for a while. He looked peaceful, content, something I hadn't seen in a long time. When he woke up, he smiled sleepily. "Morning, Mom," he murmured. My heart melted all over again. "Morning, buddy." From that day on, things were different. Jacob talked more. He laughed more. He drew pictures of us together, me, him, and our golden retriever, Max. One afternoon, He handed me a crayon drawing with crooked letters that read, "My family." I pinned it to the fridge, and every time I looked at it, I remembered that stormy night, the night I became a mother in every sense of the word. Over the next months, we built new traditions. Friday movie nights with popcorn. Sunday pancakes. Evenings spent reading by the fire. Sometimes he'd still ask about his parents, and I always told him it was okay to love them and love me too. Love isn't about replacing someone, it's about expanding your heart to fit more than you thought it could. Then, 1 year later, something happened that brought everything full circle. His school hosted a family appreciation night. Every child had to bring a parent or guardian and share a small speech. Jacob was nervous all week. He practiced in front of me but refused to show me the final version. When the night arrived, I sat in the front row, clutching tissues just in case. He stepped onto the stage, wearing his little navy blazer. He looked around the room, found me, and smiled shyly. Then he began. "My name is Jacob Carter," he said. "I used to think family meant the people you were born to. But now I know it means the people who choose to love you no matter what. My mom chose me when nobody else did. And she didn't just give me a home, she gave me a heart that's not scared anymore." There wasn't a dry eye in the auditorium. I covered my mouth, sobbing quietly. When the applause broke out, Jacob ran off the stage and straight into my arms. I held him, whispering, "You make me proud every single day." Later that night, as we drove home under the stars, he leaned against the window and said, "Mom, that night when the lights went out, that's when I started feeling safe." I reached over and squeezed his hand. That was the night I started feeling whole again, too. And that's how one emotional night, a storm, a blackout, and a little boy's courage to open his heart, changed both of our lives forever. Love doesn't always come the way you expect it to. Sometimes it walks into your life quietly, holding a stuffed bear and asking for nothing. But if you're lucky, it stays, and it teaches you that family isn't about blood. It's about love that never gives up.